Oh, yeah, then. There, hey. Yeah, hey. There.
And would you like to do the intro for us?
Intro? Oh, jeez. What are we calling this again?
Welcome to Gear Grinds with Hubs and V.
Oh, what grinds our gears? Yes. Why are you ducking? Let's keep that in there.
So,
Hubs.
so today, Aaron and I were just doing some behind-the-scenes stuff when he was bringing up Dragon Ball GT, every anime person's favorite topic.
Oh, yeah. Wait, from what I can see, everybody hates it, B. What do you mean?
I don't know.
I don't hate it. I love it, actually.
I do as well. But I do have my own problems with the show. So since I don't want this to be a show centered on myself, I'm gonna let Aaron take the first swing, talking about his pros and cons with the show.
Okay, pros. Let's see here. Well, it's Dragon Ball, so that's a plus.
Obviously.
I guess my burst fig flaw. My first big flaw with the whole thing. Alright, I'd watched Dragon Ball. I'd watched Dragon Ball Z. And now we're moving on to Dragon Ball GT. At the time, I was younger, I didn't realize that this was Toriyama's son making it. So I was just excited that it was more Dragon Ball. And the first flaw, really, it didn't pick up out of anywhere. For one. It didn't pick up out of anywhere, and then they introduced Emperor Pilaf again. Right? Pilaf is the one that shrinks him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his cohorts. And then they end up being turned into infants as well, or whatever. Anyways, that was my, they turned Goku back into a kid. I'd already seen that series. I was a little bit disappointed at that. But then the pluses came in with a whole new story, a whole new set of villains. But it seemed like the villains were much weaker than that in the original DBZ series, from what I thought it would be, until they got to the Shenrons. And then the story just went nuts. Super Saiyan 5, baby Vegeta, parasites. It got cool, And then with the minor flaws that probably same ones that you're thinking of. I don't know. Let's see here. So major flaw number one, they didn't pick up the story from anything. It didn't start after Boo. It just started. Because as a fan, I thought this was going to be a continuation of the main series, and it wasn't. This is just a whole separate series because I had no idea that it came from his son. So that was one of the problems that I had. Number two, they made Goku a kid again, which it made feel a lot like Dragon Ball all over again. And as I said before, I had already seen the film. So those are my two major flaws with the show. I guess the pros, you get to see what happens to the Z Warriors after everything's done. You get to see Krillin is married to 18. He has hair now. He's got a kid. Pan is a big part. Is pretty much the main protagonist in the story besides Goku. Pan. But it almost and Gohan has become. Oh, I haven't watched GT in for so long. Did Gohan even fight in that show?
He only fought in 2 scenes.
But other than that, he was still the intellectual, right? He was still learning.
He was the nerd.
Yeah, which if I had to pick major flaw number 3, if GT was going to be an homage to Dad in any way, shape, or form, I would have made Gohan the strongest, like he was supposed to be in the Z series. Or at least what it seemed like he was supposed to be in the Z series. He had the awakened potential. He was the second Saiyan to go Super Saiyan 2 without help. And he did it as a teenager, the youngest to do it. That, I think, by far, the biggest disappointment of the GT series is Gohan, in my opinion. Just because the potential he had. He was supposed to be like the one, you know, and almost in the Dragon Ball Z series, it almost led up to like he was the one. Goku was just, God, how do I describe that?
It's kind of like the parallel of Star Wars, where instead of Anakin being the main character, it's supposed to be Luke Skywalker.
Yes. Like, yes, exactly. It played out almost like a Luke Skywalker tale. You grow up with Luke Skywalker, who's the snotty kid, bratty kid, and then turns into the Jedi Master. This one of the strongest in history, you know. And that was Gohan when he defeated Cell. And then everything just, he turned into the Great Saiyan Man. He, you know what I mean? It's just, not that I don't like the fact that Chi-Chi and Goku want their son to be more than just a fighter, but he was the strongest, you know. And I think if I were Toriyama's son, and I'm not, and I don't know what their relationship is, and I'm not trying to step on that at all, I'm just saying, man, I would have taken Gohan up a notch, you know.
Yeah, I could see all that, and I agree with a bunch of those things, but the only problems I have with the show are kind of different. Now, the lead-up process, that is one of my flaws as well, because honestly, from all the Dragon Ball sagas that Akira Toriyama first wrote, but then had to add on because fans wanted more, when his son came around, he didn't actually give a lead in connecting his dad's work to his work, which is mistake number one.
Right. Well, as I was saying, as a fan of the series, I had no idea that it was switching from Toriyama to his son.
Oh, no one knew. That was the other big issue.
Exactly. So all these fans just went into GT blind, and I think that I agree with you there.
My second issue was kind of when they brought back Dr. Gero and Android 7 to introduce Android 17. Now, a bunch of Dragon Ball tubers talk about their least favorite character in all of Dragon Ball. I'm not saying I hate the premise of Super 17, I just hate the creation of him. If they're going to make a Super Android, they should have just made an entirely new one, like Android 21, of just old programming from Dr. Gero in Hell, just creating this new mass from just Hell energy along with biomass of the old destroyed androids merging together to create a new character.
Or even, I've noticed with a lot of the DBZ films that came out in that time frame, they just seemed like they were kind of pumping them out. They didn't give any backstory to 17 at all.
No, they really did not.
We had a story for 18 and 19 and 20, and then who was the fat one?
The white mime clown thing was 19, and the redhead one was 16.
Yeah, 16.
But they
so they left that gap. They didn't tell us who 17 was in the series, but obviously he was planned because there was 16, 18, 19, 20. You know.
Yeah.
They had again. It's just a mistelling of the story. They could have told the backstory, or maybe they had planned from the entire time to have a movie about Super 17, you know, but they didn't. At the time, it just seemed like they were pumping them all out, and I noticed that with a lot of the movies. The whole movie is a struggle, fight, struggle. The enemy is just super overpowering, and the best example is Broly, the original Broly.
But they gave Broly a story, which what made fans love him. They
did. But that was like the only problem I had with the Broly movie, was it was such this struggle, and then right at the very, very, very end, when everybody's gonna die, Goku hauls off, goes regular frickin' Goku, no Super Saiyan or nothing, and spirit bombs him, and that ends him. Or no, he punched through his gut. What the hell was it?
It was something annoying.
Yeah, it was. It was just an annoying end to Broly. And I think maybe that's why they came out with the other two Broly movies, because people were just pissed off that well, why didn't he just do that in the beginning? You know?
I don't know if I'll ever know. I don't know if I'll ever know. And
before we travel too far.
my third flaw with the show is kind of just how they wanted Super Saiyan 4 to stay non-canon.
I was trying to explain that to Rain, because Rain was talking to me about Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. I hate that name, by the way. I much prefer Super Saiyan Blue, like they're calling him in Japan. And they have Super Saiyan Rose, which is Black Goku. If you haven't been watching, I won't go on any further.
Yeah.
Or Goku Black, sorry. Anyways, I was trying to explain to him how Super Saiyan 4 in the GT universe is basically Super Saiyan God in the Dragon Ball Z universe. It's the next step in the Super Saiyan evolution. It's just one was his son's take on it, the other one was his take on it. Because it's under the assumption that the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, is the most powerful or strongest Super Saiyan. I said no, Super Saiyan God from Gods is.
And technically, Aaron, from a lot of fans' standpoint, Super Saiyan 4 was supposed to be canon because in old flashbacks, the old animation sketches of what a Super Saiyan used to be matches up to Super Saiyan 4.
Right.
Meaning that transformation should be canon. So whenever I watch the show now and I hear other fans just like, oh, Dragon Ball Super is so much better, we have Gods and Super Saiyan Blue and Beerus and Whis and...
They're equivalent. Well, technically no, they're not. Because the most powerful Super Saiyan, what I know of, is the Super Saiyan from Battle of Gods. The red-haired Goku, who is not actually Goku, he's the amalgamation of Vegeta, Pan, Gohan, Trunks, there was the five. And Goten. The five of them to combine into one body. So it's not even Goku. It is Goku, but it's not. It's almost like altruistic fusion. You know, one where Goku keeps his mind, but he has all the power of everybody else.
Basically.
And so technically, he's the most powerful Super Saiyan. He is the Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan Blue is the step after Super Saiyan 3, in my opinion, because they've never given an explanation to that, from what I can see.
Yeah, they never really explained that.
No, they didn't. They went from all of them being combined to now they're Super Saiyan Blue. So I'm assuming, if I had to take a guess, Super Saiyan Blue is Super Saiyan 4. Which makes Super Saiyan 4 in GT equivalent to Super Saiyan Blue in Dragon Ball Super. If I had, to put him on a power level.
Yeah, I would actually agree, because with the whole scaling of it and how animation notes here and there kind of match up to certain claims, although I honestly want GT to be like its own separate universe story, not being non-canon, but like the multiverse theory that they had with Trunks.
Yes.
To be a forward thing, but...
And I like that too. I like that on so many levels too. And I hope maybe someday they can tie it together, because I liked Super Saiyan 4 from GT. I liked the way he looked. I liked how he was a mixture of half ape and half human, and all the strength and speed. I liked that. And what else I'd like, if in the future, some other things that I would like to see from Toriyama's son, that not necessarily GT universe, but is it Gogeta or Vegito?
Vegito, the perma fusion.
The fusion, not the Potara, but the actual fusion.
Oh, the actual fusion, that's Gogeta.
He is non-canon either. He's never appeared in the DBZ series. He's only appeared in the movies written by Toriyama's son. Like Super Janemba.
Yeah.
I would like to see that come back too. The fusion between... Well, actually, I haven't been watching Super lately, so that might have actually happened.
No, they brought in Super Vegito, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito.
See? So they went right back to Vegito. Why? There's so much. They went with Gotenks. You know, the Gotenks did the fusion. But Vegeta, I understand why they haven't, because Toriyama and DBZ has made it explicitly clear that Vegeta would never fuse willingly in that way with Goku. I do remember reading that. Something about his pride. He just wouldn't do it. That's why they have to use the Potara. So that was why... Is it Gogeta? I always get the two mixed up. Isn't canon.
Vegito is technically canon in the main universe, while Gogeta's only been canon in the movies and GT. Okay.
So yeah. I'd like to see them bring that back. I like Toriyama's son's ideas. I just think there was a lack of build-up to a lot of it. There was a lack of backstory for a lot of it.
Yeah, which kind of leads me to my final flaw with GT of its ending. Now, I understand the fact of like Goku trying to train with the most powerful being in the world and Shinron leading it up to that. But then that whole time skip of just like all of a sudden we then have a Goku Jr. and a Vegeta Jr. that's like maybe 1/20th Saiyan, and yet they can go Super Saiyan.
Oh, are we talking about the Hero's End, the movie, the final movie, the GT movie end?
No, I'm talking about like the show end.
Right, but I thought it was a movie.
No, the movie ties into the end of the show, but the show's ending, I'm just like, so Goku goes on Shinron, is like gone for I don't know how long, and then we have Super Saiyans again with these little kids, and why did Pan never go Super Saiyan? And
you know, I don't know. There is no explanation for that. The ending is as inexplicable as the beginning, because there was no beginning. You started the show off with Emperor Pilaf, someone who hasn't been in the show since Dragon Ball, coming in and turning Goku into a kid again. Okay, what the hell about Boo? Well, let's forget about Boo. And then the show ends with, oh, Pan is a grandmother now to Goku Jr. 2 or whatever the hell.
I don't know, my head.
Last we saw of Goku, he was on Shenron.
Now he's an adult with no tail.
And yeah, the show, I think, for many reasons, it has stayed non-canon. Is the same reasons it has kind of almost stayed. It would almost seem like one of those things they'd mention in a future episode of Dragon Ball Super is happening as a dream. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing happened in Goku's mind as a dream. Or Pan's mind is a dream or something, you know, just as a nod to say that this is why it didn't make sense. It was because the whole thing was a dream. You know, that's why it didn't make sense. Except for the coherent parts in the middle.
But on Aaron, I think we kind of both agree that GT was good. Just its flaws keep it from being so much better.
I agree. Well, it's just the beginning and the end.
Yeah, the beginning, the end, and just certain plot threads that just kind of fell flat. Just kind of fell flat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like when they let up with Baby, like the whole Baby saga was pretty badass.
Yeah, it had like red herrings, good mystery about what's what, and a nice little parasite story.
Right, exactly. That could take over and become basically the most powerful being in the universe. I mean, you can imagine throwing that into Frieza or something, you know, just
yeah.
They had a whole nother Frieza saga in there.
And the Black Star Dragon Balls, that actually makes sense. People overusing wishes of a magical item, and then it has negative consequences. I dig that. I didn't like some of the dragons. Oh, God, no. God, no.
Abhorred, but, you know, the final dragon, I liked that portion where he collected the Dragon Balls back into his body, and each Dragon Ball gave him more and more power, becoming the ultimate evil Shenron. I liked that.
But then that whole Super 17, like I said, that part is just...
Now, and is that supposed to be pre-baby?
No, it's post-baby. It's like, out in the middle of hell, you have Dr. Maru, the guy that made Baby, all of a sudden finding Dr. Gero for some reason.
Now, I haven't seen 17 in a while. Did Goku even go Super Saiyan 4 in that?
He went Super Saiyan 4 against Super 17, but he never officially fought 17, who was only on par with Piccolo when he fused with Kami. So having that two fusions together, about like two 17s fighting against Super Piccolo, should be the equivalent of fighting Vegeta.
I see.
But they end it with 18 distracting him so that Goku could kill him with the Kamehameha, which...
Yeah, see, and that's another... The way Broly ended is kind of the way that 17 ended, you know? Here, let me catch you with one hit. Oh, you're not looking. Come on.
We joke, but it's still a good series, and all in all, I would love to see more projects like this from creators' own children. Like, I would love to see my own daughter with her YouTube channel be a success, and I'm sure Aaron would love to see his kids make something wonderful in the future that just touches millions as well.
Absolutely. I love the GT series. As a matter of fact, it's up until, well, I've dived into so many other animes now, but up until then, DBZ and DBGT were my two favorites. You know, I think the third was Full Metal Alchemist. I love Full Metal Alchemist too. You know, it's a good.
Yeah.
And now I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is more closely based on the manga, as you told me last night, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's closely based on the manga.
So nothing really much has changed. They just added some things, which I want to see because I enjoy that series. I love the GT series. There are just a few things I think that piss a lot of people off, and why it didn't go as big as it did. And I think maybe in the future, since Dragon Ball Super's come out and Toriyama is writing it again, and he knows his vision, maybe he'll throw some of that out there. Maybe he'll tie them together somehow. Maybe we'll see Super Saiyan 4 again, which I think would be pretty awesome. I like Super Saiyan 4.
I do too. So many people wanted it in Xenoverse 2, and hopefully we get it in Xenoverse 3. I would love that.
Right.
Just go Golden Ape and then...
It was in Budokai 2. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Budokai 3, Tenkaichis 2 and 3.
It was in all of them up until Xenoverse, right?
Damn you.
So, that aren't released here in America, of course. Maybe they'll throw out some DLC for it in the future.
I would love to go Super Saiyan 4, like my own created character, not Goku.
Well, then you could actually have a game where you could take Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Blue. Battle. That's a battle of gods right there.
That is indeed a battle of gods. That is indeed. But yeah, for just my own thoughts on my own half, GT, I do love the show. I wish it did better, and I understand that it's from a child's vision, just looking at an admiration of his dad. I just don't understand why people give it so much hate because it's a child trying to give homage to its parent. Like I've said for years, if you have a child doing something good for yourself, it's not supposed to be for you to throw hatred. You're supposed to be like, it was a learning experience, and he learned from all the mistakes that he made, and hopefully he can make a better one next time.
I agree with that 100%. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of the hate is generated because they don't even realize that it was his son that wrote it. I mean, nowadays they do. And I think whoever's still hating on it is kind of foolish for that reason. You know that it wasn't Toriyama that wrote it, it was his son. Back off. The guy did damn good for what he did. You know, he continued the series pretty much for that. How many seasons is it?
I think I think like 52 episodes that kind of go into 3 different arcs, so 52 episodes for 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons. Sounds good. I mean, he did great. But I think that's the big stigma, is nobody knew that it was his son doing it at the time. I sure didn't know. And I know nobody else knew it at the time. They all just thought it was Dragon Ball. And again, anybody who now still hates on it the way that they do, or did back then, I think is quite foolish. Foolish and quite disrespectful, because I think the kid did damn good. He did I enjoyed the series. And obviously so did all these people that hated it, because they were willing to watch the whole series before they critiqued it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like they hated it so. Oh, it was so bad I had to stop the second episode in. You know, it was. You sat there and you shoveled it in for three seasons. You had to have liked it a little bit. Well, I get paid to do this. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. No, anime forced. If I don't like an anime, I'm not going to sit through it. I'm not going to. I don't care if I'm getting paid to do it or not.
I think that's both you, me, and Jenny, who is just feeling all so sick right now.
She's sleepy.
Oh, she's sleep. I'm sorry, boo. But I don't know if I have anything else to really say, except I might actually just look back into GT again, because I kind of, whenever I'm watching this now and thinking about my own daughter, I'm like, if she were to take up the channel for my YouTube channel for myself, I would enjoy it because it was passionate and may not be the same, but it came from someone I know and love and who loves me in return.
Right. Hell, I might watch the damn thing again too. Oh. So, anyways, let's get back to the main name of the show. What really grinds your gears about GT?
What grinds my gears? Weak opening, not song, just opening episode. Terrible ending, and just flat plot lines. That was my biggest problem.
And what's your favorite thing?
Favorite thing? No Yamcha for one.
Yeah, Bulma kind of ended that relationship when Vegeta came in, huh?
And then in GT, there was no Yamcha. Super Saiyan 4, obviously. Introducing both Baby and the Shadow Dragons of the Dragon Balls, because that premise alone is just amazing.
Yes. I love those two storylines. Yes, absolutely.
And just the fact that it was a son trying to do something for his father. That's the stuff I loved about the show.
And, you know, I have to agree with everything about that. The grind in my gears part and everything else you said. I don't even need to repeat it. Because I think we've pretty much repeated it. Okay, how about this? We'll get to a topic for next time, but what do you hope to see in Dragon Ball Super? And should we maybe do a topic on Dragon Ball Super in the future?
Well, since I haven't watched Super, because I feel like it's kind of a story that will end up being kind of a boring ending. Honestly, the only thing I want to see from it most is more interesting antagonists. Because all I've heard is the only big bad that can match Goku is an assassin named Hit, who can stop time or whatever.
It was, but it is not now.
And Goku Black was supposed to be this one big character that kind of reshaped everything, because Goku apparently developed Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, which is
that's supposedly the God's key. He keeps repeating it. I've been watching a lot of the Dragon Ball Super in subtitles, but I haven't kept up on it the past month or two. So I don't know where they're at right now, but I know that Super Saiyan Blue is supposed to be God's key, or the key of the Kaioshins, which are the gods.
Or something. I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's good, V. I recommend watching it. They gave it a starting point. They literally start the series directly after Boo.
And yet everyone knows that if it starts out after Boo, we all know the ending.
So it starts out directly after Boo, and Hercule is looking for Goku to give him the humanitarian award, basically, and Goku doesn't want it. Alright, so it literally picks up where it left off 20 years ago, which is one thing I did like about the opening of the Dragon Ball Super. But then after that, Beerus is involved. So the whole Battle of Gods movie...
Oh yeah, Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and then different arcs afterwards.
They put it into the series, though, so it's in episodic form, not in the movie form. So I haven't watched all the episodes in the beginning, so I don't know if they actually tie in, but... Hey, Jenny, come here quick.
Right here.
No, come here and talk to V. I have to run quick. I'm sorry, V.
It's okay. It's okay.
Be right back.